After my sister took my studio and my identity, my parents called it a family business partnership, but the move I made reversed their entire plan. I step into my studio, the familiar scent of leather and fresh paint welcoming me home after 3 days of client meetings in Nashville. Something feels off. The vintage velvet armchair I reupholstered last month sits 2 feet from its usual spot. My sketches, normally arranged by project date, are stacked in disarray on the drafting table. "Lila!" I call out, dropping my portfolio by the door. My voice echoes in the uncharacteristic silence. The studio looks like someone rearranged furniture for a photo shoot, not for functionality. I've spent 7 years perfecting this space, every table at the right height, each lamp positioned for optimal lighting on my drafting work. "Zoe, you're back early!" Lila bursts through the back door, coffee sloshing over the rim of her mug. Her eyes dart nervously around the room, landing everywhere but on me. "What happened here?" I ask, running my fingertips along the edge of my design table. Lila's shoulders slump. She sets down her coffee and slides her tablet across the work table toward me. "Your mother stopped by with strawberry jam on Tuesday when she found out you were in Nashville," she says, her voice trailing off as she taps the screen. A digital magazine spread fills the display. The headline reads, "Rose Parker, Georgia's Hidden Design Gem." My stomach drops as I stare at the photo. My sister posing confidently in my studio, her hand resting on my custom drafting table, the one I built from reclaimed pine flooring from our grandmother's house. "They stole my life's work while I was away," I whisper, the words burning my throat. Lila's eyes well with tears. "Your mother brought the jam, asked where you were, then Rose showed up with photographers an hour later. I tried calling you. I fumble for my phone and scroll through missed calls from Lila that came during my client negotiations. I had been in presentations all day Tuesday with my phone on silent." The article describes Rose's unique vision and signature style while showcasing my carefully curated space. I swipe through more photos, my handcrafted lighting fixtures, my custom-built shelving, my carefully selected color palette, all attributed to Rose. Then I freeze. There, prominently displayed, is a photo of my college thesis project, a reading nook I designed using reclaimed materials on a student budget. The caption reads, "Rose's early work shows her sustainable approach to design." My own family planned this betrayal. The realization hits me like a physical blow. When I was 12, I rearranged my bedroom furniture weekly, experimenting with flow and function. Rose got new bedspreads and curtains while I got sideways glances when I dragged home abandoned furniture to refinish. By 16, I was trading and upcycling pieces, developing the aesthetic that would become my signature. My parents called it playing house, while they praised Rose's academic achievements. I worked 3 jobs to put myself through design school, waitressing mornings, retail evenings, office cleaning on weekends, and my parents contributed nothing, saying creative careers were risky investments. Those years blend into a haze of exhaustion, paint fumes, and determination. Every piece in the studio represents a sacrifice, a choice to build something meaningful instead of taking the easier path. Last month, during our monthly family dinner, Rose casually suggested becoming the face of my company. "You're the talent, Zoe, but let's be honest, I'm better with people." Mom and Dad agree, she smiled while slicing into her pot roast. "It makes perfect business sense." I set down my fork and said, "I built this from nothing. I won't give the credit to someone else." "Don't be selfish," Mom snapped. "Rose has connections. She's trying to help you. After all we've done for you," Dad added, though he had done nothing but doubt me. I walked out, their accusations of ingratitude following me to the car. I never thought they would go this far. My phone rings, jolting me back to the present. It's the Harrises, my newest clients with the Craftsman renovation. "Miss Parker, we've decided to go in another direction," Mr. Harris says stiffly. "We've seen the article about your sister's work and reached out to her directly." Before I can respond, he hangs up. My email notification pings a potential client asking if Rose is available for consultation. Another ping. Rose has tagged me in a social media post, thanking me for inspiring her design journey. I place both hands flat on my design table, feeling the wood grain against my palms. My breath steadies, my spine straightens. "This is my studio," I say, my voice stronger than I expected, "and I will fight for it. My life's work." Lila nods, determination replacing her tears. "Where do we start?" My hands shake as I open my laptop. The magazine article was just the beginning. After a sleepless night pacing my apartment, I am determined to understand the full scope of Rose's betrayal. "Try her Instagram," Lila suggests, perching on the edge of my desk with 2 steaming cups of coffee. She slides one toward me, her eyes reflecting my own anxiety. I type Rose's name into the search bar, and my stomach drops. 53,000 followers. The profile description reads, budget decor expert and sustainable design consultant. When did she... My voice catches. I scroll down, each image is a fresh punch to the gut. There is my converted barn door coffee table from 2014. The custom built-ins I designed for the Wilson's Lake House in 2018. The vintage trunk repurposed as a kitchen island from last summer's cabin renovation. Look at the captions, Lila whispers. Another weekend transformation. My design. Budget renovation. Creating beauty from abandoned pieces is my passion. Rescue design. Comments flood each post. You're so talented. Can you help with my living room? Where did you learn these skills? Rose's replies sound exactly like me. I believe function should always meet beauty at the intersection of affordability. My words, my design philosophy, written in my journal since design school. Pinterest too, Lila says, reaching across to type. The board titled My Design Journey, created December 2012, the month I completed my first paid renovation, contains photos of my college projects, early client work, and concept sketches, all presented as hers. She's been stealing from me for over a decade, I say, my voice trembling despite my effort to stay composed. This isn't opportunistic, it's calculated. Lila's phone pings. She checks it, her expression darkens. Your mother texted me. She wants to know if we're still planning to participate in the follow-up shoot tomorrow. Follow-up shoot? The words feel like acid. Lila slides her phone toward me. The text thread between her and my mother reveals their entire plan. Rose needs more photos for her portfolio. We'll bring the photographers when Zoe's in Nashville. Zoe might not appreciate people in her studio without permission. It's just family photos, dear. Don't worry so much. I scroll further, seeing coordination between my mother and Rose about camera angles, which projects to feature, even which of my client files to pull for background inspiration. There's more, Lila says, pulling up her email. The photographer contacted her this morning. He felt uncomfortable when he realized what was happening. The attached behind-the-scenes photos show Rose and my mother directing the shoot, moving my furniture, arranging my sketches. One image captures my father in the doorway watching. The whole family was in on it. The betrayal solidifies like concrete in my chest. My phone rings. The Dalton Group, my largest commercial client. Ms. Parker? This is Margaret Dalton. We're confused about who's actually designing our new office space. Your sister contacted us, claiming she's taking over the creative direction. The room tilts slightly. She has no authority to contact you, I say. I'm handling your project personally. That's what we assumed, but the magazine article, it is unauthorized and inaccurate. I'll send documentation confirming our contract terms today. I end the call and immediately see an email from my bank, monthly loan payment for studio space due in 3 days. I open my accounting software. The potential losses if clients continue jumping ship are devastating. 6 months before financial collapse. You've got another email, Lila says, from Ellie Shepard. Ellie and I sat next to each other through 3 years of design courses. The email is brief, just saw that magazine spread. That reading nook there, crediting to Rose, I remember watching you build that in our senior thesis studio at 2 a.m. What's going on? People know my work, I say. A small flame of hope flickers. Not everyone will believe her. I've got your back, Lila says. I tried to stop them during the shoot, but your mother insisted they had your permission. I should have done more. You did what you could. I squeeze her hand briefly before pulling up the security camera app on my phone. Let's see exactly what happened. The footage shows Rose directing photographers, pointing at specific designs, demonstrating how she created various pieces. The timestamp confirms they spent 3 hours in my studio. I'm calling Jackson Thompson, I decide, scrolling for my lawyer's number. 30 minutes later, I have outlined everything to Jackson, who listens with increasing concern. We're looking at multiple issues here, he explains. Trespass, unauthorized commercial filming, false endorsement, possibly defamation. I'll draft cease and desist letters today. I end the call and stand at my studio window, watching rain begin to fall against the glass. For a moment, the tears I've been fighting threaten to surface. I press my palms against my eyes until the pressure pushes back the emotion. When I lower my hands, my phone screen lights up with a message from the magazine editor, Miss Parker. I understand there may be an issue with our recent feature. I'm available to discuss this afternoon. I take a deep breath, straightening my shoulders. Lila, I call, turning from the window with newfound resolve. Pull everything we have documenting my work history. Every sketch, every client testimonial, every before and after. This isn't just about me anymore. It's about every creator who's had their work stolen, every artist who's had to fight to be recognized. And I won't back down. The next morning, I wake to my phone buzzing against the nightstand. 4 notifications from friends sharing Rose's latest social media post. With heavy fingers, I tap the screen, and there she is, standing in my studio, hands lovingly caressing my custom-built shelving. Thank you all for the overwhelming support. Her practiced voice flows through my speakers. I'm so grateful to finally share my design journey with the world. The video pans across my workspace, the tables I built, the lighting I installed after 3 sleepless nights of calculations, all presented as hers. Delete, I whisper, closing the app before hurling my phone onto the bed. The landline rings. It's Mrs. Halloway, my mother's bridge partner for 20 years. Zoe dear, your mother just called with the wonderful news about you and Rose working together now. She said you're both featured in Georgia Style this month. My throat tightens. That's not actually... Always knew you girls would make a perfect team. Your creativity and Rose's people skills. My parents are calling everyone. After Mrs. Halloway, 3 more calls come from family friends, each congratulating me on the partnership I never agreed to. By noon, the magazine article has been shared across 6 design blogs. By evening, the local news includes a brief segment on the talented Parker sisters taking Georgia's design world by storm. Lila brings me coffee as we watch my reputation being dismantled in real time. How do they sleep at night? She asks, her voice small against the magnitude of the theft. I don't answer. Instead, I walk to my storage closet and pull out my portfolio cases. 7 years of work documented in chronological order. I spread the contents across the floor. Sketches dated and signed, photographs of empty rooms transformed, handwritten thank you notes from clients. This, I say, running my fingers over a sketch from 2018, is evidence. I find my college thesis project. The reading Nook Rose claimed as her early work Professor Winters had written across the top. Exceptional spatial awareness. You have a genuine gift, Zoe. My hand trembles as I touch a photo of my first tiny office, a converted storage room above a flower shop. I'd slept on a second-hand futon those first months, showering at the gym to make rent while building my client list. Remember Elaine Thompson? I ask Lila, holding up before and after photos of a Victorian parlor transformation. Your first major client, Lila nods. She hired me when I had nothing but a borrowed camera and some hand-drawn sketches. She said, "You've got something special, young lady. I'm willing to bet on it." My voice strengthens with the memory. I built this once. I can build it again if I have to. The studio door chimes. Rose sweeps in, our mother trailing behind her, both carrying designer coffees and practiced smiles. "There she is!" Rose exclaims, arms outstretched as if for a hug I don't offer. The creative genius behind it all. I stand perfectly still among my scattered portfolio evidence. "Why are you here?" "We brought coffee," Mother says, her voice dropping into the concerned tone she uses when she wants something. "Thought we should talk about next steps." The response to the article has been tremendous. Rose sets her cup down, careful not to disturb my evidence spread. "Look, Zoe, I know you're upset about how this happened, but the publicity is good for both of us. We can share the spotlight. There's room for both Parker sisters. This is what family does," Mother adds, sinking into my client consultation chair. "We help each other succeed." I let out a laugh that sounds foreign even to my own ears. Great. Help each other? You didn't help me succeed. You tried to steal what I already built. Rose's smile falters. That's a bit dramatic. I was just taking credit for my work, using my designs to book paying consultations, pretending my years of sacrifice were yours, I continue, gesturing to the ceiling corner where the security camera silently records everything. And now you're standing in my studio continuing the lie. Mother's eyes widen, following my gesture to the camera. You're recording us? Your own family? I record everyone who enters my professional space for security. My phone buzzes with a text. Then another, and another. Daniel Woodley, my mentor from design school. I've got 15 years of your design development documented. Tell me what you need. Professor Winters, that reading nook is unmistakably your thesis project. I still have the original presentation boards in storage. The Morgans, clients whose Georgian revival I completed last spring. We hired you for your vision, not your sisters. How can we help set the record straight? Something shifts inside me. The loneliness of betrayal gives way to the strength of unexpected alliance. You should go, I tell Rose and Mother, my voice steady now. My attorney will be here soon. Attorney? Mother's hand flutters to her throat. Surely we can handle this as a family. You forfeited that option when you planned a commercial photo shoot in my studio without permission. My phone rings. Martin Klein, my attorney. Good news, he says when I answer. The unauthorized use of your copyrighted designs gives us clear grounds for action against both the magazine and your sister. I've prepared cease and desist letters with a 24-hour deadline for retraction. I keep my eyes on Rose's face as I respond. Deliver them today. Rose's confident posture crumbles. She fumbles for her phone, fingers flying across the screen, no doubt reaching out to the magazine editors. Within an hour, the online article disappears, replaced with a notice of content under review. Mother leaves 3 voice messages that evening, her tone evolving from righteously indignant to uncharacteristically uncertain. For the first time since discovering the theft, I sleep through the night. The next morning, Lila and I meet with Patricia Saunders, a PR specialist who focuses on reputation management. Document everything, Patricia advises, reviewing our timeline of evidence. Every unauthorized post, every stolen design, every false claim. We prepare statements for my clients and industry contacts that clarify ownership without sounding defensive. We install additional security cameras and change the locks. I authorize Lila as the only person allowed to access the studio in my absence. This isn't just about me anymore, I tell them both as we review the protection measures. It's about everyone who creates. If I let this stand, I'm saying it's okay to steal someone's life's work. After they leave, I discover something I hadn't noticed before. Hidden in Rose's earliest social media posts are designs she couldn't possibly have created, copyrighted patterns from established designers, modified just enough to avoid immediate detection. I find receipts from design consultations Rose conducted using my portfolio as her own, client contracts with clauses she violated by claiming to be the designer of record. I spread a map across my drafting table, circling a location in another state, a place with thriving design opportunities but far from the shadow of family deception. They think they know my next move, I whisper to the empty studio. They have no idea. 3 days later, after gathering all documents and evidence, I review the email one last time before hitting send. Attached are 37 pages of documentation proving my ownership of every design that appeared in Rose's fraudulent feature. The message is addressed to every client in my database, past and present. This ends today, I whisper, clicking send. Lila looks up from her laptop where she's drafting our press release. How does this sound? The interior studio regrets to announce that unauthorized commercial photography took place on our premises during Miss Parker's absence. Perfect, I nod, watching my phone light up with delivery confirmations. Let's make it crystal clear that Rose has no design credentials whatsoever. Within 20 minutes, my inbox floods with responses. Design bloggers requesting statements. Industry colleagues expressing outrage. 3 former professors offering sworn statements about my student work. The network I never knew I had materializes like furniture appearing in an empty room. My attorney calls. We've filed copyright claims against all of Rose's social media accounts. Expect movement within hours. I check Instagram while we talk. Rose's perfectly curated feed, 7 years of my designs labeled as hers, vanishes post by post as the platform responds to our documentation. The satisfaction burns bright and fierce in my chest. An hour later, the studio door chimes. My mother stands there, clutching a ceramic dish wrapped in a kitchen towel, her eyes red-rimmed. I brought your favorite peach cobbler, she says, voice wavering. I say nothing, continuing to sort client testimonials at my drafting table. Zoe, please, this has gone too far. She sets the dish down, wringing her hands. We were only trying to help your business grow. By stealing it? I ask, voice steady despite the anger coursing through me. That's an interesting definition of help. Rose is devastated. Your father... My phone rings. I answer without breaking eye contact with her. Yes, I can verify those are my original sketches from 2018. No, my sister has never had design training. Yes, I have the original client contract. Mom's face crumples. She leaves the cobbler and walks out. Later that evening, my father calls. You're destroying this family's reputation, he says, voice tightly controlled. People are talking. Good, I reply, scrolling through the design blog that just published a deep dive investigation into the situation. Let them talk about how my own family tried to steal my livelihood. Your sister has posted an apology video. I've seen it. Rose's tearful performance, claiming she was just trying to help promote her sister's talent, has already been demolished, in the comments, by people pointing out years of systematic theft. A text arrives from our family friend Caroline. I'd be happy to mediate this misunderstanding between you girls. I type back, the evidence speaks for itself. There's nothing to mediate. By morning the tide has fully turned, the Georgia Design Association issues a statement about creative ownership that mentions my case without naming names. Everyone knows who they mean. Former clients share stories of working directly with me, posting before and after photos with captions, like the real designer behind my dream kitchen. The magazine publishes a retraction and apology. The editor calls personally, we had no idea. We've terminated our relationship with the photographer who facilitated this deception. Rose's social media following plummets. New clients reach out specifically requesting contract clauses stating that Rose cannot represent my work. Parents' friends send awkward messages expressing disappointment in their behavior. My phone rings again. Rose's name flashes on the screen. Against my better judgment, I answer. You're ruining everything for me, she sobs immediately. All my followers, my reputation. You mean my followers and my reputation? I correct her. You can't lose what was never yours. We were only trying to help you both succeed. My mother's voice cuts in. I'm on speakerphone. You've always been so stubborn about doing everything your way. I laugh without humor. My way? You mean the legal way? The ethical way? The way that doesn't involve theft? An email appears from my father. I may have misjudged the situation. Let's talk about how to move forward as a family. For the first time in nearly 15 years, our monthly family dinner is canceled. The group text remains silent. I walk through my studio touching the furniture I built, the fabrics I selected, the lighting I designed. They still don't understand what they did wrong. They never will. The movers arrive tomorrow for the initial consultation. The new lease in Savannah sits signed on my desk. 3 key clients have already agreed to continue their projects remotely. Lila has given notice on her apartment. I stand at the window watching darkness settle over the garden my mother helped me plant when I first opened this space. The bittersweet ache in my chest doesn't diminish my resolve. Sometimes you have to leave to truly move forward, I tell Lila, as she places the last of today's documentation in our growing legal file. She nods, understanding something my family never could, that some spaces, once violated, can never feel like home again. 3 days later, I pull the last roll of bubble wrap from its box, the plastic crackling as I secure another framed design certificate. The studio feels hollow now. Half-empty shelves and bare walls echoing my voice as I direct the packing. Those portfolios go in the reinforced boxes, I tell Lila, who nods and continues labeling containers with meticulous care. The bell above the door jingles. I don't need to turn around to know who it is. The familiar scent of my mother's floral perfume mixes with the cardboard dust. What is all this? Mother's voice breaks through the quiet efficiency of our packing. She stands in the doorway, Rose and Dad hovering behind her like backup singers waiting for their cue. Mother's hand flies to her throat, the gesture so rehearsed I almost expect spotlight marks on the floor. Zoe, you can't just leave your family. I continue wrapping a handcrafted lamp base. I'm not leaving my family. I'm relocating my business. Dad steps forward, all business in his golf polo and pressed khakis. Now, Zoe, let's be reasonable. We can make this work for everyone. He produces a folder from his leather portfolio. I've drawn up a partnership agreement. Rose handles the social aspects, you do the designs. Parker & Parker Interior Design has a nice ring to it. Rose pushes past him, her eyes darting around the half-packed studio. I'll take down all my posts and videos, she blurts, phone already in hand. See, I'm deleting them right now. I place the wrapped lamp in a box and seal it with packing tape, the ripping sound cutting through her desperate promises. Too late, I say quietly, walking to my design table where a black binder sits. I've been waiting for this moment. I open the binder and turn it toward them. Page 1, my original sketches from 2012, dated and notarized. Page 2, Rose's Pinterest board from 2013 showing identical concepts labeled as her own. I flip through methodically. Pages 3 through 17, screenshots of my designs appearing on Rose's social media over the past decade with timestamps. Mother tries to close the binder. Zoe, this is ridiculous. I move her hand away firmly. Page 18, financial records showing client cancellations following your magazine stunt. Estimated. Losses. $48,000. Dad's face pales, numbers always get through to him. I pull out my phone and press play on a recorded conversation. Rose's voice fills the studio. Of course I borrowed from Zoe's portfolio. She has the talent, but I make it marketable. That's how family works. Rose lunges for my phone. You recorded me? That's illegal. Georgia is a one-party consent state, I reply calmly, and this isn't about forgiveness, it's about consequences. The door opens again. My attorney, Sarah Bennett, walks in with a leather portfolio of her own. She places 3 identical documents on the table. The settlement terms are straightforward, Sarah explains, her tone professional but cold. A public retraction acknowledging Zoe as the true designer of all disputed works, financial compensation for lost clients and reputation damage, and a non-competition agreement preventing Rose from commercial interior design work for 3 years. Mother sinks into my packing chair. This is absurd. There's more, I continue. Rose will publish a statement acknowledging me as the true designer behind all previously claimed work, and you both, I look directly at my parents, are forbidden from any involvement in my business affairs. Sarah places 3 pens on the table. Sign today or we proceed with the lawsuit tomorrow. The magazine's legal team has already settled separately. Rose's facade finally cracks. You always had the talent I wanted, she screams, tears streaming down her face. Do you know what it's like growing up with someone who can create something beautiful out of garbage while I can't even match throw pillows properly? Mother collapses into genuine tears, not the manipulative ones I've seen my whole life. Her shoulders shake with sobs that seem to come from somewhere real for once. Dad stands frozen, stunned into silence, his eyes moving from the settlement papers to the half-packed studio, finally seeing the damage they've caused. I walk to the door and hold it open. The moving trucks arrive at 8 tomorrow morning. I won't be here. After they leave, Lila locks the door behind them and turns the sign to closed. Are you okay? She asks, returning to a box of design samples. I nod, surprising myself by actually meaning it, better than I expected. The next morning, I stand across the street watching the movers load the last of my materials. The family car drives slowly past. All 3 of them stare at the emptying studio. They don't stop. Lila walks through each room one last time, turning off lights methodically. Design area, consultation space, kitchenette, bathroom. The studio darkens section by section. I cross the street one last time and place my new business card in the window. The interior studio in embossed letters, with an address 3 states away. My hand lingers on the doorframe of the space that held both my dreams and my heartbreak. 7 years of work, 7 years of proving myself. Ready? Lila asks, joining me with the last potted plant cradled in her arms. The moving truck rumbles to life in the background. Behind us, my assistant designer Marcus waits in his car, ready to follow us to our new location. Beside him sits Trevor, my new business manager who helped secure our new commercial space, my chosen family. Some family is born, I say, turning away from the empty studio, and some are chosen. I don't look back as we drive away. I stand in the center of my new studio, morning light streaming through windows twice the size of my old space. 3 months have passed since I left Atlanta, my hometown, since I chose myself over the family that betrayed me. The scent of fresh paint and reclaimed wood fills the air as I adjust a vintage table lamp, one I rescued from a thrift store at 16. Zoe, they're here, Lila calls from the reception area, excitement coloring her voice. I smooth my hands down my rust-colored blazer and take a deep breath. Our first major client in the new location has arrived for the ribbon-cutting ceremony. The Andersons trusted me to redesign their historic farmhouse despite the 3-state distance, despite everything. Marcus, my newest team member, arranges the last chairs while Emma, our junior designer, adjusts the refreshment table. They move with purpose, respecting the vision we've created together. No one here treats my designs as something to be stolen. This space feels alive, Mrs. Anderson whispers as she enters, her husband nodding beside her, like it has a heartbeat. That's exactly what I was going for, I reply, my smile genuine for the first time in months. After the champagne and congratulations, I retreat to my private design nook. The gallery wall before me displays my journey, sketches from design school, photos of my first apartment renovations, magazine features with my name properly attributed. Centered among them hangs a professional photograph of my college thesis project, the reading nook that Rose once claimed as her own. I've reclaimed more than just credit. I've reclaimed my joy. My journal sits open on my drafting table, pages filled with the therapy homework that helped me process the betrayal. Beside it lies the outline for a mentorship program I'm launching next month for young designers with difficult family dynamics. Some wounds become purpose when given enough time and attention. The mail arrives with Lila's afternoon coffee. She sorts through it efficiently, pausing at a cream-colored envelope. "Your mother," she says simply, placing it on my desk. I recognize the handwriting immediately, her third letter of apology, each growing longer as my silence continues. It joins the others in my desk drawer, unopened. Some relationships can't be redesigned, not yet, maybe not ever. My father hasn't written it all. Last I heard, he still can't admit his role in what happened. Rose enrolled in actual design courses last month, starting from the beginning, learning the fundamentals she tried to steal from me. An acquaintance from Atlanta sent me the information, though I never asked for updates. The door chimes as our afternoon consultation arrives. Lila greets them in the reception area. "Are you the famous designer?" I hear the client ask her. I step forward from my office, shoulders straight. "I am Zoe Parker. This is my studio." No hesitation, no doubt, no fear of claiming what's mine. Later, after everyone has gone, I receive an email from Interior Vision magazine. They want to feature my new studio with my name prominently displayed. An industry award nomination follows minutes later, recognizing my authentic approach to space and storytelling. The mentorship program has already received 12 applications. My former design school has invited me to speak about creative ownership and professional boundaries. I stand in the center of my studio after hours, lights dimmed to a warm glow. A framed photograph of my very first second-hand furniture project, a lopsided bookshelf I built at 14, hangs beside my recent award-winning commercial space design. My fingers trace the wall of this new space, feeling its solidity beneath my touch. This is the interior that matters most, the one where I recognize my own worth.